Avoid the sand traps. Find out how to avoid the sand traps of life in this episode of 5 Minutes Closer. I'm Vaughn Weatherford, and this is 5 Minutes Closer. For the next 5 minutes, let's explore some biblical truths and apply them to your life. No podcast, including this one, can transform your life or give you what you really need. Only Jesus can do that. You can find out why in what I've called the first five episodes of 5 Minutes Closer. Each following episode explores scriptural truths that, if you follow them, will bring you 5 minutes closer to the person God created you to be. Let's see if we can get you 5 minutes closer. Every golfer knows you don't aim for the sand trap. Sand traps are there to make the hole harder, to punish golfers who don't hit the ball where they want it to go. Sand traps are strategically located along the fairway and around the green. Good golfers can hit out of a sand trap. Unfortunately, I am not a good golfer. When I get in a sand trap, I might as well add 4 or 5 strokes to the hole. That's how many strokes it's going to take me to successfully get the ball out of the sand. And when I do, I usually hit it all the way across the green into the sand trap on the other side. If it weren't for someone in the group taking pity on me and just letting me toss the ball out, I'd become a permanent fixture of the golf course, just hitting the ball back and forth between traps. The Galatians were in danger of the spiritual equivalent. Paul identifies 2 spiritual sand traps on either side of freedom in Christ: legalism, which he talks about in chapter 4, and license, which he talks about in chapter 5. Neither is where the believer wants to be. Paul sums it up in chapter 5, verse 1, where he writes, "For freedom Christ has set us free. Stand firm, therefore, and do not submit again to a yoke of slavery." Paul describes 2 sand traps to avoid. The first is the sand trap of legalism. The final verses of chapter 4 describe how some Galatian believers had fallen for the lie that their relationship with God depended on them following a legalistic set of rules. False teachers claimed that salvation came through a combination of believing in Jesus and following the law. Paul's clear. The law reveals our need for Christ. Salvation is through Jesus alone. It's something like deciding to perform brain surgery on yourself. No hospital in the world would allow you to do that. You can't be both the surgeon and the patient. As complicated as brain surgery is, it's nothing compared to salvation. You can't save yourself. If you seek to follow some arbitrary set of rules, inevitably, those rules are going to fall short. You can't be as perfect as God is, and truth be told, you can't follow the rules either. It's why the Bible puts it plain as day in Romans chapter 3, verse 23. All have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. The goal isn't to be good enough. The goal is the glory of God. The goal is the perfection of Jesus. None of us measures up to that. We need what only Jesus has accomplished, what only He can accomplish. We need the salvation that only Jesus can provide. Legalism is not the only trap. Paul warns against another, the trap of license. Paul begins Galatians 5 with a warning about returning to slavery. He makes clear what he means in verse 13 of chapter 5. There he writes, "For you were called to freedom, brothers, only do not use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another." We're going to return to this verse in a later episode, but for now, recognize that we have been set free in Christ. Every time we choose to sin, we are stepping back into the very slavery Jesus gave His life on the cross to rid us of. My cousins and I used to walk through our grandfather's cow pasture. Occasionally, you would hear a familiar squish and someone crying out, "Ugh!" We all knew what it meant. It also reminded all of us to watch where we were stepping. Sin makes the same squish every time you step in it. The Bible warns us to watch our step. Don't fall into the trap of believing you can save yourself, or fall back into the slavery from which Christ died on the cross to set us free, because now you're 5 minutes closer. My prayer is that these 5 minutes have challenged you, inspired you, and caused you to consider applying God's message for your life from His Word. To find out more, visit our website at 5minutescloser.com. Join me next time to see if we can get you 5 minutes closer.